When a new Russian recruit arrives at the front lines in Ukraine today, their life expectancy isn't measured in months or even days. It's measured in minutes. According to recent reports tracking unit deployments, the average survival time for a fresh soldier in the trenches now sits between 20 to 35 minutes. To keep those trenches filled, the Kremlin is offering sign-up bonuses of $80,000 and debt relief of $140,000, sums that represent more wealth than many Russian families see in a lifetime. They are paying an astronomical premium to maintain the flow of recruits into a fatal environment. Yet, if you listen to Vladimir Putin's public addresses, these pressures don't exist. He recently went on national television to claim that Russian forces are advancing steadily, that logistics are fine, and that reports of domestic infrastructure failing are merely an information operation designed to sow doubt. But the figures who built Russia's initial war effort are telling a very different story. Igor Girkin is the former general who helped architect the original 2014 invasion of eastern Ukraine and the annexation of Crimea. He is currently sitting in a Russian prison cell for publicly criticizing the Kremlin's war management. From that cell, Girkin managed to publish a blunt warning. He argues that the Russian military is exhausting itself on secondary targets, and that the resulting lack of maneuverability is setting up the exact conditions for Russia to lose control of Crimea, potentially in a matter of weeks. When the official state narrative relies on claims that contradict both recruitment data and the warnings of its own field officers, it creates a systemic blind spot. This gap between the propaganda being broadcast and the actual status of the front indicates a command structure struggling to reconcile its objectives with its mounting losses. The reason recruits are surviving for less than an hour comes down to a specific technological advantage: Ukrainian FPV drones. These small, highly maneuverable units carry specialized incendiary and shape charge warheads that can tear through brick walls and heavy armor with pinpoint accuracy. This diagram outlines a lethal evolution. Forces intentionally land a primary drone, leaving electronics powered. High above, a watcher drone keeps the downed unit in frame. When a soldier approaches the wreckage, the operator sends the command to detonate the payload. This chart visualizes the result: 8 Russian soldiers killed or wounded for every single Ukrainian casualty. Expanding this data out over the past year, Russian losses consistently exceed 30,000 casualties month after month. The trend line shows no signs of dipping. Because Ukrainian operators have refined this remote-controlled warfare, Russia is trapped in a cycle. They are forced to use massive cash incentives to recruit civilians, only to send them into a high-tech environment where they are eliminated almost immediately. Ukrainian operators have expanded the range of these drone strikes, moving beyond the immediate front lines to target the domestic Russian energy sector. The damage to oil refineries has triggered an immediate crisis for the Russian public. Across several cities, civilians are facing severe fuel shortages, finding themselves waiting in 45-minute lines at the few gas stations that still have supplies. This line graph tracks a specific metric of civilian desperation. It shows a vertical spike in Russian internet search volume for the phrase, "how to siphon gasoline." As the formal supply chain falters, citizens are looking for ways to extract fuel themselves. Security failures are making the crisis harder to manage. Pro-war Russian bloggers attempted to reassure the public by announcing the arrival of new fuel shipments. Ukrainian forces monitor these public channels and strike the shipments the moment they reach their destination. In response to the shortage, much of the Russian public is leaning on a psychological coping mechanism known as good Tsar, bad boyars. Instead of holding the central leadership accountable for the empty gas stations, they blame military advisors, convinced that the president is simply being lied to by his subordinates. When citizens are forced to research how to siphon gas from their neighbors, the conflict is no longer a distant event. The refinery strikes are actively eroding the daily stability of the Russian domestic economy. This is a classic example of shaping operations, a strategic series of attacks designed to weaken an enemy's position before a major assault. The drone strikes at the front and the attacks on the refineries are two halves of the same strategic plan. This map of southern Ukraine illustrates the goal. By severing the fuel supply lines, Ukraine is paralyzing Russian maneuvers. Without diesel, heavy armor stays stationary and reinforcements cannot be deployed, effectively chopping the Russian presence into isolated, unsupplied pockets. This lack of mobility on land has forced a shift in defensive posture at sea. After spotting Ukrainian reconnaissance units operating near the coast, the Russian military scrambled nearly 20 dozen watercraft from its Black Sea fleet to intercept what they believe is an imminent amphibious. Civilians on the peninsula are reacting to this increasing isolation. Fearing the bridge may be cut off completely, thousands have attempted to flee Crimea, resulting in 12-hour traffic jams along the primary transit route back to the Russian mainland. This map highlights a shift in the local balance of power. The shaded area represents a zone where Ukrainian forces have achieved partial air and drone superiority, allowing them to strike these immobile Russian units with increasing frequency. By dismantling logistics and isolating enemy battalions, Ukraine has neutralized Russia's manpower advantage. The tactical groundwork is complete, and the conditions are now in place for a historic offensive to retake Crimea.